But yeah, going back to the
Saboteurs.
important issues, while we haven't got the
Yeah.
guy that has strong opinions about things,
Fuck's sake.
it's very important to talk about. And I know everybody knows somebody that has been affected by assault, abuse, manipulation, exploitation, and we need to talk about it. And I think it's very brave of people to speak up about it, and we support you very much. So I hope some good can come of it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I think these issues do need to come to light, and people need to find a way to resolve them. And
Well,
yeah,
I
talking
find,
about these things is the first stage of the
yeah, and
fighting, I
I
guess.
struggle to even comprehend what women go through. And like, we can't. It's like saying that we can't understand how a black person lives in America and their life. We can't, but what we can do is empathize and help and do something about it, and learn from it. And it's crazy to me, like, how many stories are coming out and how many things are just being brought out of the woodwork that have gone, unmitigated. Like, people are scared to talk about it because they're worried about losing their jobs or losing their friends or all that kind of shit. It's crazy. Insane.
Yeah, and the backlash can be quite brutal, can't it?
And I'm not suggesting it's just women. Of course, there are men that struggle as well, and we support them too, definitely. But yeah, it's fucking tough times right now. Like, it seems to be one thing after another. You start with a pandemic, and then you have a Black Lives Matter movement, and then sexual abuse and assault. It's coming out. They're all great things that need to change. Because we're speaking about them. I'm not saying pandemic's a great thing. I mean, it's happening, but we're trying to do something about it.
It's almost given time for people to read up on these
Reflect.
sorts of things. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
But yeah, I think it's also important to stand by the victims that are coming out. At least listen to them. Don't dismiss it because you don't like them calling out the person that you respect and put on a pedestal, or that your friend. It's a hard truth sometimes, and I think it's important to listen to them. It takes a lot to come out and say something. They're not doing it for no reason, and I hope other people that are doing it for nefarious reasons step back and reflect and realize that you're taking away a voice from people that really need it. So yeah. You need to be a good person. At the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. Everything comes down to just being a good person,
or understanding boundaries as well. From the sounds of some of the stories as well, it seems like people just don't understand boundaries in the slightest.
Yeah, and yeah.
So,
like, if there's no communication as to you doing something that would be considered crossing the line, you shouldn't be doing it. That's straight fact. You can't say, "Oh, I thought you were into it. Oh, sorry, no, there was no dialogue there. So fuck off with that bullshit. You exploited someone. That's what it comes down to. And you took advantage of a situation, and you should be punished for that." I'm not talking about anyone in specifics. Like, there's so many people that I know that have come out on Twitter now, and it's really hurtful to see so many people struggling. So hopefully I'm just being a voice in the wind, but I hope it helps some people to know that there are at least some people out there that are behind you.
yeah.
It's all about consent. Like, it's so fucking easy. I don't get it, people. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's easy to make assumptions on why people are the way they are, but there's no real excuse for it, because you say, oh, well, they're just a bunch of inexperienced gamer nerds or some shit, but that's not. I don't think that is the case. It's not. That's given them very much a free pass for bad behavior.
Yeah, and yeah, some circumstances make it confusing, and you don't know where the line is crossed because you picked up on signals or some shit like that. But ultimately, just
try to be a respectful, treat people with respect in general.
Yeah, And I
Regardless,
know this.
I mean, because even if you're in a relationship with someone, you still treat them with respect. Fuck.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think that's a pass anymore. Just say boys will be boys. That's really not acceptable. Like, no, that gender doesn't mean a thing. That's just a person taking advantage of another person. But yeah, that's all we have to say on that, without being too much of a downer on situations. I know everyone's going through a lot right now, but I think it's important to talk about it.
I just like to hope there's confidence in going to, authorities about these things where possible. I know obviously it's not always the easiest option,
Sometimes,
but you might get better results rather than something on Twitter, because I feel like some of that stuff just unfortunately gets forgotten about.
I mean, I know people that
and obviously
it
doesn't do anything,
berated for it and been dismissed because they spoke to a male policeman that has these backward thoughts on, oh well, you probably asked for it kind of thing, and made their trauma worse.
I can't imagine how bad that would be.
I don't think. Sometimes it's very scary to go to the authorities because then it becomes real, and then they know they're going to go and reach out to the people that you care about. You don't want to cause problems for other people, but you know they're going to go and do what they have to do to get to the bottom of it. And I know people that have gone through that and come out worse for it and sided with the criminal because there wasn't enough. There wasn't evidence because receipts, because you didn't have a camera on at the time.
Exactly.
You didn't hit record. Exactly. Oh, so we're going to have to...
That seems a bit odd, doesn't it? To expect people to have some sort of...
It's one person's word against another a lot of the time. And how could you have receipts for certain things? Ridiculous. But what can they do in the end? That's why people don't go to the police. It's like, well, I don't have any evidence. I just know this has happened to me. It's easy for me to talk about this shit and say how awful it is because I'm in a lucky position of not having it affect me.
It's not directly affected you,
But knowing enough people around me that have had it going through, struggle with it, then got to support. Loads of people probably haven't spoken up because it's so traumatic. Or they don't want to cause problems.